Tonight, on Night Rhythm, we're examining one of the most debated behaviors in sleep science, the nap. Some people rely on it for recovery, others avoid it entirely out of concern for nighttime sleep disruption. The question is not simply whether naps are good or bad, but under what conditions they support the body's natural sleep architecture, and when they begin to interfere with it. Napping is not a modern habit. Biphasic sleep patterns, where individuals sleep in two segments across a 24-hour cycle, have been documented across cultures and historical periods. What has changed is the structure of modern schedules, which often compress sleep into a single nighttime block. This shift alters how the body responds to daytime sleep opportunities. Two biological systems determine how a nap affects you: circadian rhythm and sleep pressure. The circadian rhythm regulates timing, driven largely by light exposure. Sleep pressure, governed by adenosine accumulation, builds steadily the longer you stay awake. A nap interacts with both systems simultaneously, which is why its timing and duration matter. Adenosine is a byproduct of cellular activity. As it accumulates in the brain, it increases the urge to sleep. When you nap, adenosine levels decrease, temporarily relieving that pressure. This can improve alertness in the short term, but if too much pressure is removed, it may reduce your ability to fall asleep later that night. The circadian system introduces another layer. Most individuals experience a natural dip in alertness in the early afternoon, typically between 1 and 3 p.m. This is not caused by food intake alone, but by a predictable circadian phase. A nap taken during this window aligns with biology rather than opposing it. Duration is the most critical variable. Short naps, often referred to as power naps, typically last 10 to 20 minutes. These remain within lighter stages of non-REM sleep and avoid deeper slow-wave activity. As a result, individuals often wake with improved alertness and minimal grogginess. Longer naps, particularly those exceeding 30 minutes, increase the likelihood of entering slow-wave sleep. Waking from this stage can produce sleep inertia, a period of cognitive sluggishness and reduced reaction time. This effect can persist for 30 to 60 minutes, depending on sleep depth and individual variability. There is also a middle category: naps of approximately 90 minutes. This duration allows the body to complete a full sleep cycle, including REM sleep. When timed correctly, these naps can support memory consolidation and creativity. However, they require careful placement within the day to avoid nighttime disruption. Age and sleep debt influence outcomes. Individuals who are sleep deprived are more likely to enter deeper sleep stages quickly, even during short naps. Older adults may experience lighter sleep overall and may benefit from slightly longer nap windows. The same nap can produce different results depending on physiological context. For individuals with insomnia, naps present a more complex situation. Daytime sleep can reduce sleep pressure to a degree that delays nighttime sleep onset. In clinical settings, behavioral therapies for insomnia often recommend limiting or eliminating naps to restore stronger sleep drive at night. Shift workers represent a distinct category. For them, naps are not optional recovery tools but strategic necessities. Controlled naps before or during night shifts can improve alertness and reduce error rates. In this context, naps serve as a substitute for fragmented or misaligned primary sleep periods. Caffeine interacts with nap timing in a predictable way. A strategy sometimes referred to as a caffeine nap involves consuming caffeine immediately before a short nap. Since caffeine typically takes about 20 minutes to take effect, it begins acting as the individual wakes, enhancing post-nap alertness. Environmental conditions influence nap quality. A dark, quiet, and cool setting supports faster sleep onset and more stable rest. Even minor adjustments, such as reducing light exposure or lowering ambient temperature, can significantly improve nap efficiency without increasing duration. Post-nap behavior also matters. Exposure to natural light, light movement, or hydration can help reduce sleep inertia. Remaining inactive in dim environments after waking can prolong grogginess. The transition out of a nap is part of the process, not an afterthought. There is a misconception that napping is a sign of poor sleep health. In reality, structured naps can be part of a stable and effective routine when used intentionally. The issue is not the nap itself, but its timing, duration, and relationship to nighttime sleep. Data from sleep research indicates that short, early afternoon naps can improve cognitive performance, reaction time, and mood. However, late-day naps, particularly those taken after 4 p.m., are consistently associated with delayed sleep onset and reduced sleep quality at night. A practical approach begins with self-assessment. If you fall asleep quickly at night and wake feeling restored, naps may not be necessary. If daytime fatigue is persistent despite adequate nighttime sleep, a controlled nap may be beneficial, but should be tested systematically rather than used habitually. To implement a nap effectively, set a clear duration, ideally 15 to 20 minutes, and use an alarm. Position the nap within the early afternoon window and avoid extending it impulsively. Consistency allows the body to integrate the nap without destabilizing circadian timing. If naps consistently interfere with nighttime sleep, the adjustment is straightforward. Shorten the duration, move the timing earlier, or remove the nap entirely. Sleep regulation is responsive. Small, controlled changes often produce measurable improvements within a few days. Thank you for spending this time with Night Rhythm. Napping is not inherently helpful or harmful. It is a tool. When aligned with biology, it restores alertness and supports performance. When misaligned, it disrupts sleep continuity. The distinction is not in the act itself, but in how precisely it is applied. As a final guideline, think of naps as a controlled intervention rather than a default habit. Use them with intention, measure their effects, and adjust based on outcomes. This approach transforms napping from a reactive behavior into a structured component of sleep regulation. Sleep is not only about duration, but timing and consistency. Whether you include naps or not, the goal remains the same. A stable, predictable rhythm that allows the body to cycle naturally through restoration. When that rhythm is respected, sleep becomes less effortful and more reliable over time.